All right, welcome back to Waste Some Time with Jason Green. I am Jason Green. We're bringing you brand new interviews every Monday and Friday, so make sure you can subscribe to see that. And I got to tell you, I get requests all the time for people to do interviews, and it's usually the most reclusive that people want to see. Izzy Stradlin, Warren DeMartini, Tommy Skeoch. Tommy Skeoch is a name that comes up pretty often. So he's here today promoting his new band along with the lead singer, Nathan Oots. And they have a brand new band called Resist and Bite. We're going to talk all about their new music. We're going to talk a little bit about Tesla's history. Can you believe it's 35 years since the release of the first Tesla album? Anyway, we're going to talk about all of that and more right after this. Just wanna waste some time with you. All right, even though we call it Waste Some Time, we can't waste any time. Let's bring the guys in. Here is Tommy Skeoch and Nathan Oots.
Heavy metal forever.
And thanks to technology, we can all join each other. Nathan is in Atlanta, Georgia, and Tommy is in Florida, right, Tommy?
That's correct.
Sarasota.
Where are you? Sarasota, right? Okay, Tommy's in Sarasota, Florida. Okay, which is nice. And I'm in Las Vegas, so we're all in hot places today.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Resist and Bite is the brand new music. And this is the project I think everyone's excited about. You guys are both have other projects that you have been involved in. Nathan, you had a band called Blondes, had an album on an Epic in 1990, and we're singing for Lynch Mob recently, right up until things kind of shut down. And then, Tommy, people know you from Tesla, obviously, before your music now. So we're going to talk about Resist and Bite because it really is great music that I think people will like. And I want to make sure that we can do that. Obviously, right now, the goal for you guys is to get the word out, to let people know that you're making new music, that you're making music that I think people are going to like, and that you're also going to start playing some shows very soon, I believe. In the next few days, this band is going to debut music. So we're going to talk all about that. I do want to talk a little bit about Tesla. And Tommy, you were nice enough to do that. Obviously, fans ask all the time. And you are a little bit of a self-described recluse. You've laid low for a little while, which is not a bad thing. I think in a lot of ways, Tommy, people are interested more, and they want to see you. I think fans of Tesla, fans of rock guitar, they want to see you. So I want to get a couple of your thoughts on the classic Tesla records. And so here's Mechanical Resonance. This is 35 years old. Can you believe this record's that long ago?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of all gone by, but yeah, it is what it is, man. First record, I love it.
And so one of the things that I used to always wonder is, were these guys really these big radio geeks and Tesla fans, or how did it come about? And so, from my knowledge, Cliff Bernstein at Q Prime Management is the one who came up with the name. Is that true?
I believe that's the truth. I believe him and Tom Zutat from Geffen were just having a conversation about the name because we were having trouble coming up with the name. And it was either Cliff brought up the name Tesla or Tom did. And they brought it to us and we thought it was cool, kind of a mascot for us. The guy Tesla, and he was kind of eccentric and, electricity and the whole thing. It kind of tied in really well. So,
yeah, the story was that Cliff had kind of was into it and he read a book and he showed a book to Frank and you guys. And then the Tesla thing really took off. And this was an original concept. And I don't have to tell you that Tesla wasn't really the quote glam or hair bands at the time. Tesla had a lot more, which is probably why it's survived so long, because the music isn't really
it's got integrity. I think all that music is it's got integrity. It's got a little bit of everything. It's diverse, and that's kind of like what we're doing in Resist and Bite as well.
Yeah, I think, and Tommy, you've been making different music since departing Tesla 2006, and it's been a little bit different, maybe even a little bit punk and stuff, which I love, but I think that Resist and Bite might be a little bit more towards Tesla fans. I think they might like this.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a little bit heavier than Tesla, but still the same vibe. You know, we've got some lighter songs, and we just want to be diverse because we like all kinds of different music and just want to really kind of be able to play anything we want. So the first record, I think, represents kind of that vibe, kind of diversity. You know, we have some kind of ballady kind of songs or slower songs. We got a lot of heavy songs, but it's definitely a rockin' band.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're gonna dive deeper into Resistant Bite, obviously, but I want to go through a couple of these records. So what are your memories at the time making this record?
Well, the first thing that comes to my head is my first daughter was born right before we did that. And I was just young and dumb and still learning a lot, and really lucky and grateful, man. I mean, that thing came out and it just took off. And what can you say? It just I didn't know it was going to be like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody hopes it'll go that way.
Right.
And
it did. I mean, it did in a big way, and it was exciting and fun.
Yeah, and you guys got to jump on some big tours, and I think having, Cube Prime didn't hurt. You're on the road with Def Leppard, it's
the whole thing between the record company, the management, and what we were doing, everything clicked, and it was perfect. That's correct.
Yeah, and so it's sort of funny, Tommy, your mother was a model, right?
She was. She's more of an artist, but when she was younger, she modeled.
And
my
so
daughter is a model now, which is a trip.
It's fun. So it's passing on through the family.
I'm telling you, man, that's what my daughter's doing for a living these days. So she's doing good.
And you have 3 kids, right?
I have 4 altogether.
You've been busy. You've been busy these years.
Well, the first daughter was born right before that mechanical residence, and then I got married to my wife Carrie, and then we've had 3 kids since then.
Yeah, and I know that 2 of your kids are autistic, and that you raise a lot of money for autism charities. We should point that out. Usually people were able to buy records on your website. They're not up there right now, but I know that
tried to raise money. I don't think I've raised much. I mean, throw it out there. Hey, buy, some records and we'll give money to autism, but it didn't really sell many. Nothing really happened that much. So,
well, there's always time. And just by speaking about it, I think you're raising awareness towards it.
That's awesome. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And because that's a full-time job of its own. And luckily your wife has stood with you all these years.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of work. And unless you live with kids with autism, you really don't know. I mean, you can see them and go, yeah, and whatever. But the struggle of it, though, you don't know until you live with them and deal with them day in and day out. And, I wouldn't change a thing, but it's difficult. It is. And luckily for me, she does deal with a lot of it. And they go to her for a lot of stuff because they know she's the woman.
Yeah. And listen, Tommy, I think you've said it yourself. You might not have been the easiest guy to be married to over these years.
I have said that just recently. You saw my Facebook post, didn't you?
Yeah, and it's amazing. That's great though, that to have that rock by your side is such an important thing.
She's great, man. She is great. I've fucked her up over the years, though. If anything fucked up with her, it's my fault. But she's been great, man. She does great with the kids, and she's a great mom. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's no secret you've lived a real rock and roll life, and that shouldn't be. You shouldn't be typecast as just that life, because you've done so much more, and you're living good. You know what I mean? You're healthy.
That's interesting you say that, because I get the feeling people think I'm just out, getting full tilt boogie and wild all the time, and really, man, my home life is very domesticated, and especially with the kids, Now, there was a period when I was abusing drugs and all that, and I did it through all that domestication as well. But it's not what you think. Yeah, it's not what one would think, I don't think.
Well, and then you get a label that people just stick it with you, So if you have some rough years and some hard times, and everybody does, it stays with you. And that's why I think it's so great that you and Nathan are here to talk about new music And people can see you and see that you're healthy and living a nice life in Florida and ready to do what they want.
I am. That whole thing with the drugs and everything is so old hat for me, man. It's like I'm so over. I don't even think about it anymore, and I don't do drugs anymore. So it's like, and then people bring it up. Like I just did and God bless, I love Eddie Trunk, but I did an interview with him, and he brings it up all the time, like almost like with the implication that I just got done with a run or something. It's just it's kind of old, man. I'm just done with it. And,
but they're making you into Keith Richards in a sense. Do you know what I mean?
Well, hey, man, if I can get the money Keith has got, then that might work.
Yeah, well,
and I'll be
I'm not quite there yet.
You guys know that in this new world of journalism, people can broadcast from their living room and their basement. And I love Eddie Trunk. I mean, he's very good at what he does.
Eddie's great. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I love him.
Of course. But a lot of people do lazy journalism. So you get questions like, so you were in Tesla. What was that like? You had a drug problem. What was that like? And it's just very lazy because there's so much more to it. Okay, great radio.
It's usually the first thing people will bring up. I mean, I don't know how many interviews I've done since I've been out of Tesla, but it's usually the first thing that comes up, and it's a big one for people. And I'm just so over it at this point,
Yeah. Well, you wear your sobriety like a badge. You know what I mean? And it's people see you, they're going to realize maybe we can put this in the past and move on.
Yeah, I don't even think about this shit. I'm just like, whatever, I just go on with my life now. My life's different. It's better, I'm not killing myself.
I agree with that, because some people do. Some people, and God bless them for doing that. Some people, they want to send positive vibes for, the achievements they've made in life. Tommy doesn't even talk or think about it. It's like, we don't, it's so old. It's like, there's nobody wants to achieving something like that. It's like, he doesn't.
Yeah, for sure. And so let's talk a little bit more about the past before we get to the present. 1989, great radio controversy. This is where things really going to blow up for Tesla. So tell me a little about what's going on at this point.
So we did that record, and that was a real big one for us. Love song, man. No one from the record company liked it. They thought it was 3 different songs, and we fought for it. We're like, no, man, this is the way the song is. It's like 3 different sections, but it's one song, and we fought for it, and it became a top 10 single up there with Madonna and all those freak buckets. So we were, really happy.
And I think, a song like Love Song brings people in to hear the other songs because there's some heavy stuff on this record.
Hell yeah, it does. I mean, that's the thing is in Tesla, more my thing, and always more my thing is heavy. I'm just I love to rock hard, right? And I love the nice, I write some slow songs. We got some slower, kind of mellower stuff on the Resist and Bite stuff. I like it all, but I tend to go towards the really heavy stuff, and that's really what I was about in Tesla. That's kind of what I brought to them, I think.
When this record came out, I always sort of wondered what came first: Hang Tough, the bass line from that, or the bass line from the Mountain Song by Jane's Addiction, which are incredibly similar.
I don't know. I don't know. That's a good. I think I know what you're talking about, though. I've heard.
That's weird, Jason.
Yeah. Well, wait. Listen, I asked Joey Allen the other day from Warren.
Joey.
Oh, I love Joey. Joey's our friend, man.
Joey's my brother, man.
He's great. And I asked him, though, I go, Down Boys and Bye Bye Love by the Cars.
Yeah.
Are there any similarities? And he just came out and said, yeah, Jenny Lane stole it. That's the similarity. And we're lucky.
No, I don't think that's the case with us. I think it was just an honest kind of similar thing, really.
We all get here from somewhere else. You know?
Well, that's right. There's only so many notes to choose from, right? I mean,
man, I've been writing songs lately, man. It's definitely a craft trying to make something that feels good and poppy if you want it to really be poppy, but that hasn't been done. It's so hard to do these days, man, but I do it. I try.
Yeah, and that's the thing that people should realize. You had a hand in writing the majority of these Tesla songs. I mean, you guys worked together as a band a lot, but definitely a lot of co-writing.
Into the Now record, until I left,
right. And so, which is a it just shows the strength because these songs are, they're not your everyday songs. There's a lot of complexity to these things.
I think they've weathered time well, huh? Yeah.
I think so, and that's something that people, you couldn't expect things to last so well, and they did. Here's 5-man acoustical jam. This is huge. I saw this live at the Ritz in New York City, which was also Studio 54 at one time, and this thing, Love Song blows up one way. Here comes this record.
Well,
Signs comes out.
It was the same thing, man. We had no idea. We spent 30 grand on a mobile recording, did that thing, and I think it was at Philadelphia is the one that got for that night is it just was like a fluke, and Signs, someone heard it and it got a buzz, and next thing we know, it's a top 10 hit. So it worked out really well, and we were really lucky and grateful,
Yeah, and things falling into place. This is in 1990. And, going forward, as some bands might be slowing down because of the change in the musical climate, you guys are cranking it out. And maybe because your music is not very similar to everything else at the time.
Yeah, that's around when that started happening. And we really felt it after Bust a Nut came out. That's when we could really tell it was different.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. So here's Psychotic Supper. And this is now 1991, and this is another got some heavy songs on it. Some of these songs remind me a little bit of Resist and Bite.
Yeah, that's fair. And this is one of my favorite records. It really is that we've done out of all of them. I would say it's probably one of my favorites. It's just the whole vibe of it and everything about it. I don't know. I like it, and it is a lot like Resist and Bite. It's got heavy, it's got bluesy stuff. It's got a lot of different stuff in it.
A lot of bands were trying to put out heavier records, but you guys, it didn't seem forced because, listen, going back to the first record, songs like Coming At You Live were already heavy. So it wasn't like, oh, now Tesla's trying to be something they're not.
Yeah.
And I think that that certainly helped you. Here's Bust a Nut, an odd record title for the time.
Bust a Nut, we thought it was great, like go get some fucking pussy and bust a nut, man. That was the idea, and we were running with that, but I don't know what people think, but that was the idea. Sorry. Anyway, but that that's the record that that's when everything was different. We put that out and it was like, whoa, man, everything had changed. It really had.
Yeah, and this is 1994.
Yeah.
So now the climate is completely different. Radio's not looking to play.
We're actually
Say it again, Nathan.
We're actually going to be doing a track off this record live.
Yeah, live.
Not telling
which,
you. Not
which
telling
I think is great, and we should talk about that just a little bit. Resist and Bite, you guys aren't going to ignore Tesla, and
no.
People love it. And
yeah, we're going to play some.
Yeah,
I'm a fan.
Yes.
They inspired.
And that's what's so great. And so, yes, I know you guys are going to play some deeper cuts that maybe fans don't get to hear, and that songs that were part of Tommy, his writing and career. And then you play a couple hits. Listen, it's a new world. People are very nostalgic. It's amazing that you put out new music.
We're going to play a Blonde song, and that's the other thing. Around this time is around the time Psychotic Supper and Bust a Nut came out. That's around the time when Blondes was doing their thing.
We were actually scheduled to do some touring with them that year, and I broke my leg playing indoor soccer like an idiot. And we lost.
Nightmare.
But yeah, I mean, we could have crossed paths a long time ago, and we didn't.
Well, so Nathan, it's interesting when they were looking for a singer for Lynch Mob, with George Lynch you've been playing with. They were looking for somebody like Oni Logan, but Jeff Keith was also a name, and you had some similarities. People were saying, "Oh, he can sing," that kind of stuff. So it's fitting that you would end up playing with Tommy in this kind of band. And it's not, and this is not exactly. This is not a Tesla tribute. You're just playing some of the songs.
I will say, man, Nathan, man, he's a trip, dude. He's got a really crazy strong voice. I mean, when you're in the room with him and he's singing, it's powerful, man. It's a different animal than Jeff, actually, very much. Jeff sang a lot softer, and it was just a different thing, man. And it's and Jeff was great, but I
he's
really
awesome.
Enjoy playing with Nathan, man. He's got a power like 10 motherfuckers, man. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So Nathan, this is your. Go ahead.
Yeah, Jeff's a big idol for me. I always just when they, just to be brief, when Tesla came out, man, it was like, okay, that's that's where I want to be. You know what I mean? That sound.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think a lot of people felt that way. We're looking at your record Blondes from 1990 on Epic, and this got a little, got some press and got a little play, and people can still, go out and listen to this now. I think people are discovering bands that they missed the first time. Bar 7, for example, Tommy, your band with Jeff after Tesla, that record is still in demand. People really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And so this is the great time for people to discover music they missed, but also to discover new music.
Cool, we're touching on that history too. We're doing some Tesla stuff, and we're doing even a song from that Blondes record. So I think it's really cool and fun too. The way we're doing like some segues and doing some fun stuff like that at the show. I think people will enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I think people watching will be excited to see how optimistic you are and happy about making new music and doing what you love and what you've made a career doing.
And you know what? I didn't know really if I would be doing this again on this level like this. And it just happened so organically. And that's what I love. Like my wife, I remember when I first got out of Tesla, I was in no shape really to be doing stuff. But when I would talk about it, she'd be like, oh, you need to network, right? And I'm just not a networker, I just don't do that. So the way this happened, it took, 10, 15 years or whatever after I left Tesla, but it sure did happen naturally. And it's a beautiful thing. And I love it. And I am happy as hell about this thing. I'm so excited. I love it.
Yeah. And so we're looking at the promo photo for Resistant Bite. And this is the new project. And so what I want to tell people to check the music out, because the record's not available yet, and we're going to get into that, but you can go onto YouTube. There's a brand new single called Fate. And you got to listen to this, because I think you're going to anticipate and be excited for what's coming next. The first song, The Myth I'm Living, that's available also on YouTube. So I'm going to have the links in the description. It's real easy. Click on them. Let's get some, we got to spread the word. I think that's the thing. Yeah. This is early on. We got to get the word out that people can see this, and that you are playing shows with some name brands, which is perfect, because those packages, I think, are the way to get this music to new people. So tell me a little bit about how Resistant Bite, the recording process comes about to make this upcoming record.
You mean the record itself, or what started recording?
Let's talk about, well, you can tell me both. Tell me how you got started.
I got a phone call. It's funny. I'll trickle back a little bit further. I did an acoustic thing with Frank. He asked me to come do this acoustic thing with him. And then no sooner than I got home from doing that with Frank, singing some Tesla songs, like 2 weeks later, I get a call from this guy. And I'm looking up in the sky going, really, God, this is how this is going down? What you're going to do to me? So like two huge guys in my musical inspiration, Tesla was always really big to me. And I'm not saying that just to say it. It's literally on the table for that for me. But Dave, our drummer, is the guy that kind of glued all this together. And so after Dave calling me and saying, would you be interested in this? I was like, yeah, send me the music, blah, blah, blah. And I got the music, and I called him back. I said, dude, I want to do this, but I have a question. Is it you just want me to like blindly sing what's already on it, or you want me to write, or what? And he's like, no, definitely write, and if what you have we like.
We had another singer to start with, and that didn't work out. So we did have a couple of songs with vocals on them. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah, so and you changed some lyrics.
Yeah, so they sent me some tracks, and actually the first one they sent me, the first batch of songs, was Fate. Fate was in there, and
Myth was on there.
And Myth was on there. So I was like a little schoolboy, and I went in and I started writing what my thing would be. Told him to send me the music, with no lyrics on it. So I wrote Myth, the lyrics to Myth, and the lyrics to Fate. And Tommy, this is crazy, bro. Tommy comes to my freaking house to pick me up to go to Nashville, where we were recording at Stokes' house at that time. They had already done some tracks, but so I'm riding in the car with Tommy for 4 hours. First time ever meeting him. Like, it was insane. You know, I'm like, it was surreal to me. I couldn't believe it to begin with. And Tommy's like instantly freaking brothers up to me, and you know, man, it really made me feel comfortable and warm. He's like, "Do you have ideas?" I said, "Yeah, I do." And he goes, "Great, awesome." He goes, "But I want you to hear some other stuff that I've got. You know, if you got ideas for these things, let me play you some of my stuff." Tommy's like a mad scientist, dude. He can lay 30 tracks down in 2-3 days. He's got like 30 songs, and he's like writing more. He's one of those guys. He wakes up and he starts thinking, you know. So we're listening to these track after track after track for like 4 hours. By the time we get to where we're going, dude, you would have thought we went to high school together. It was just everything was clicking. He liked my melodies and my ideas, you know. And so we go in and we record. Fate was the first one, and I'm downstairs and they're all upstairs, and I'm down in this other separate room singing. I got through the first part of the first verse, and I heard them. They stopped the track, and I'm like, "Here we go. I'm going home. They're sending me home." You know, Tommy. I hear like a Bugs Bunny cartoon. You hear it go doot 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 down the stairs. I'm like, "Here we go." He walks in the door, dude, and just hugs me, and he's like, "Keep going." And so that
was so good, man.
It was good, you know, and inspired me to, you know, feel up to par. And then we just started writing. Next thing you know, we're going out to our friend John's house at Holy Smoke Studios, which is great freaking setup, home studio in the middle of nowhere, swimming pool, hot tub, everything's great, you know, really comfortable setting. And we just started buzz on, man, and just like writing. I think we had like 29 songs.
Bunch of songs, yeah.
Like 6-7 weeks, you know, and then we just started hammering away. It's like, all right, we got to do this record. Looks like we're going to probably have to do it ourselves. So that's when he calls, you know, Mike Rosen, and next thing you know, we're in Nashville with the help of Steve Smith and some other people that helped us out financially, and we're in the freaking studio, and we're just laying these things down, and everything. Believe me, we've been haggling for months with the and everything, and it's now getting to where everybody's like really, really happy with what's going on.
Well,
but the
guys,
kids quick, like that photo that you have of us, that first one you popped up, dude. We took those pictures before I sang a single note.
They felt like it was going to work.
I was laughing to myself that day, and I was like, "Well, here's the funny thing: if I suck, what are you going to do with these photos?"
No, man, we were, dude. We took that. He had sang at least one of the demos by the time we'd taken that photo, but it was that day, and we were just like, "No, we're a band, man. This is fucking awesome. We're a band," and that's just how it was, man. And we told him, "This is a band, dude. We're doing this."
I met them all, Jason, that day. The morning Tommy came and got me, we drove up 4 hours with Tommy, and then when I got there, I met Steve and Dave and Brian. Never met anybody in the band. And next day, dude, we were like, you know, it was just like we were together forever.
They were confident in you, Nathan, because they had you stand in the center. I've learned from years in the music business, if you're going to try somebody out, put them on the end. And that way you can crop them out if it doesn't work. But,
dude, that's fucking precious, man. That's fucking great.
It is. And the cool thing now is our new photos, like we're going to have at our shows and stuff. That's actually one of them's probably going to be on the record. Tommy's in the middle.
Well, hopefully, Tommy, you're not going anywhere. But I usually ask band members, which one of you is most on the fence? And then you stand on the end. Because otherwise, photo shoots could be the kiss of death.
That's funny.
There's no.
But you guys did this record the old-fashioned way. You know, I don't think as many people are doing that. You know, you guys didn't play your parts in home studios. You guys got together, and Mike Rosen also worked with Tesla. So it was cool to have somebody. You know, Tommy, you tell us about how that comes in.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. You know, and it's weird, man. The way we kind of did the demos, we did demos off of my demos as a band. So it was that we did that, and it actually worked really well. And I'd never done it that way. I mean, actually, to the same click and some of the same stuff I had done with a drum machine, we were actually playing as a band with. And then Mike said, "No, man, you got," and I thought that was kind of cool. I thought it worked out good, but he's like, "No, man, I want you guys to go in and play." And of course, he was right. And we went in and we totally just started from scratch with all the songs, not rewrote them, but did pre-production with them, you know, kind of in and out what we want to do with them, and awesome. Yeah.
Dude, last track we did, the very, very last track we did, I think it was actually our last day in there.
It was.
We did an old acoustic tune that I wrote like 25 years ago. I couldn't believe they even wanted to do it. But we did that Ted Templeton style, bro. It was straight up live.
Live.
Right.
There's a couple of songs on the record, actually. That's live. And also there's a song called Home that we did the basic track for it.
Yeah.
But the basic track, Steve does the lead on it, the other guitar player, and it just sounded so good. And we just said, man, I think that's it, man.
Even his
scratch vocal is what we ended up using.
Wow, yeah, sometimes it works.
Yeah, it did.
Catch the moment. That's the most important part. Even if there's hiccups in it, that's the moment. Catch the moment, you know?
Good stuff, man. It was a good, we only spent 20 days doing that record. We had 20 days to get in there. We got a really good deal in the studio. Beautiful place in Nashville. And we knocked her out, man.
Here's the crazy thing, too. So I'm finishing up like the last of my vocals, right? And the guy that runs the place is good friends with Mike Rosen. He says, oh, by the way, just to let you know that this is the room that Roy Orbison did Pretty Woman in.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
Glad you told me that now and not when I first came in the building. You know,
Dude, that place has seen all kinds of people. This studio was bitching, man.
it was
It's
killer.
a lot of history, too. Yeah.
Yeah, I can only imagine, you know, but you know, that's good for the creative vibe. One of the things I really like about the way you guys talk is that you talk as a band. That, you know, anyone could have said, I got something featuring Tommy Skeoch of Tesla, you know, and people do that grab, and there's nothing wrong with that. You should get paid for being Tommy Skeoch of Tesla. But this is a band, and you guys are about this music. You're passionate about it, and you know, and you are doing it because this is obviously you're not getting rich yet doing this. You're doing it because you have a passion for this music, and you're going to get out and get in the van, and you're going to play these shows.
We are.
Not the van. Don't say the van, bro.
Winnebago?
Man. Dude,
You're
listen, we haven't even labeled up yet. We haven't even labeled up yet, bro. And we're ready to make 2 more records. Me and Tommy are like,
A lot of songs, yeah.
I'm ready to move on to the next one.
Grassroots is the way to go. This is, you know, again, I was saying, could you believe we're all speaking to each other from a different state?
Yeah.
These days, right? I mean, it's amazing what you can do. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, Tommy, if you think about all the money, say again?
Well, it's like one of my best friends says, he goes, you know, there's good news and bad news about, you know, technology now. It's like the good news is, you know, you can record a record in your own house. And the bad news is you can record a record in your own.
Yeah, good point. And Nathan, you're joining us from a pickup truck in Georgia. I mean, who, you know.
1995 Dodge pickup, brother, with 51,000 miles on it.
Yeah, 51,000 miles. Tommy, you had to think, you know, now looking back at Tesla, how much money you guys spent on music videos, the modern day cowboy video in this old theater with a famous actor. Do you know that actor's name, Tommy?
I forget his name. I think he has died since, but he was back in the early no talking type films. That guy. I forget his name, but you know what? What you just said kills me when I think about it. I don't know what we spent on that video, but I know there was one we spent like $300,000, and it's just like, what? I mean, when I think about that today, it kills me, of course, because I need the money today. You know?
Well, you could have made a catalog for that now, but
it's ridiculous. It was
and producers.
It's crazy too, because like Blondes, I think our budget was like $250,000, you know, and that was kind of crazy, you know, even in 1990. And then, you know, people are turning around and they're spitting out albums for 30-40 grand that sell 20 million copies. You know,
Yeah.
I think it's, and I'm not saying that about us, but I think it's mainly in the music and the writing and the spirit that's involved with the writing and the music that you catch moments that make great music.
You know what? I don't know if how this is gonna play out. I mean, who knows if we're gonna get a machine behind us working for us. Or so far, everything we've done has been in-house, and it's been pretty cool, actually. Yeah. All the videos we've done ourselves, everything.
Good quality videos. You know, the new video Fate, it's good. You know, some people make videos, you know, independent and look great. This looks like it could play just with every other video. It's good quality. Your drummer's daughter is in the video watching the TV, and it's got a whole cool vibe, and I think people will dig that. And this is what's amazing, though. So you go spend all this money back in the day on music videos. Now, the DIY end of things is not so bad as long as you have the creativity and you get some people involved, you know, that have some talent. And now the old cliche is the music will do the talking. You guys will get out on the stages.
Do the talking.
Well, you know, I just, the whole thing with the do-it-yourself thing is just, the one point is I feel like to really get it out there, of course, we got to go play. But I think if we had a machine, like I say a machine, a record company and some management, I think it would help us greatly. And I really want to have that. I think this music deserves it. I believe in it like even more than I did in Tesla. I mean, I just love it.
And by getting this word out, those things could start to happen. You know what I mean? Because you're doing the right thing.
Here, that's right.
We're lighting a fire next Thursday, man.
Say it again.
We're lighting a fire next Thursday. So
yeah, man.
That's the first show, right?
Yeah.
And so who are you guys playing with?
It's us.
We're heading that night, our very first show, man. We got an hour-and-a-half show. It's going to be rocking, man.
The second night is with Dead Daisies. So
yeah. So I mean, it's very cool that you guys are, and so you're kind of running in the South right now, right?
No, both these shows are Ohio. August, the podcast expo is in Nashville, so that's August 6th.
And we're trying to book more shows as we speak. We're trying to get more lined up, so we're raring to go. Actually,
well, I could see you guys doing these cruises and these festivals. There's definitely an interest, and you know. I was going to say the time will come when you'll be talking about resistant bite music, and you won't have to answer the Tesla questions every second.
Look, that stuff is natural, and I get it, and it's part of the history, and we'll probably have to deal with that for quite a while, and that's okay to an extent, as long as they just don't it's like, yeah, I don't do drugs anymore. We don't have to talk about that, you know. I don't hate the guys. I love them. We had a whole history together. And they're great, and I wish them the best, type of thing. And you know, that's it, man. But yeah,
here's what we need.
Where it's at, man.
Here's what we need to do then. Everyone's on good terms. Nathan, you know the guys in Tesla. Obviously, Tommy knows them. Resistant Bite should open a show for Tesla. I mean,
right, hold on a second now. Hold on. I did just say that I love them all still and all that, but I don't know if I want to go that far, son.
And hey, listen. And on that note, and please don't read this the wrong way. You know, there's one thing that me and Tommy, but now that we've become we're very much like brothers, man. And, you know, you hear the cliche things out of people's mouths in bands like, we love each other and we're great. And, you know, you have all these reasons to say that we're this chemistry and we're this magical thing. Me and Tommy are on the same page. I think everybody in the band is, but me and Tommy definitely are on the same page. We're trying to write our way out of that, man. We're, you know, so much more that we as songwriters can provide that we know that we have that we're not doing. And we really want to do that. We want to step out of our comfort zone.
Plus the way we've been writing songs, I've never written songs like this with anybody. I mean, Nathan's really quick, man. He just like comes up with stuff and boom, it's bang, boom. Some of the songs on the record, there was a one night when we were drinking a little bit, he went out there and just freestyled over some of the demos.
Yeah.
That song called Blood song, and that song, it was one of those nights where he just freestyled, and that ended up becoming the song. He had to readjust a couple of words here and there, but it awesome, man. I love writing with Nate.
And funny enough, that song's about the crucifixion of Christ.
Heavy.
It is.
You know.
That's exactly what it's about, you know. But it's like the heaviest track one of the heaviest tracks on the record.
Yeah, I mean, I think people are looking forward to it. So now tell me, when do you think we might hear it? The whole record.
Man, question.
You want to go back to the Tesla questions?
No. That's funny. No, we don't know, man. It's just now being finished mixed. Then we're going to be getting it mastered. And once that's done, maybe between the mixing and the mastering, you know, we've stuck our heads out of the hole just to kind of get people's attention.
Might
Really
help.
haven't had the opportunity to bust into somebody yet.
Maybe these shows will get some interest.
Right. Marks, kind of like the old school way. Back in the day, if you wanted a record deal, you had to go out and play and get seen.
Well, I think so too.
Just gonna
I
follow.
think people, people need to see that it's good. They need to see, because Tommy, you've got this stigma that you're carrying. People need to see you get up and play again and go, this is what it's about. The guy, the band is good. The songs are good. You're healthy.
And that's
that,
the thing. When we start playing live, I think that will start happening, and some of that other shit will go away. Yeah,
I agree.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And so now you guys still, Nathan, are you singing with Lynch at all anymore?
I don't think so. I don't know. There might be another show. There might not. George is really kind of trying to break off and do his own thing right now.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you. I'd actually had said something like that, when I was with him. It was like, hey man, it's, you're the reason people are coming to these shows. Then he started getting the flack about, well, it became the butt of a joke. Like, well, who's with George this week? And it's like, and I think he's probably just a little over that. And, he wants to just kind of step out and just, get that recognition, with not having to rely on anybody else and just
and maybe a solid thing. Yeah.
Yeah, which has been tough for George.
Right.
I had him work on a record here in Vegas, and we're sitting in the car, and he goes, oh man, I got a show next week, and Oni Logan just backed out. And I'm going through my phone. All right, George, we're going to find you a singer,
right.
Every hard rock guy you can think of. And I think for him, yeah, that did get old. And then the name Lynch Mob becomes politically incorrect.
Right.
And,
God, yeah.
So, and George is a lot like Tommy. George is super, super active, super constantly in the chemistry room doing his thing, his mad scientist thing. He's constantly working, and he is a bit of a recluse too. Like, so
you compared him to George, and he left. Do you see that, Nathan?
Yeah, right. He bailed out.
I think we'll see if he finds his way back in. But no, I totally get it. And George is one of these great personalities because, as you know, he's completely dry, and you don't know exactly when he's joking and when he's not. But I can understand that because I saw you play with George too, and you guys were great. But I can understand that it's hard to do that.
So I don't mention anymore. And to be honest with you, I would love to be able to say I just won't have time.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll see. And then you do your Aerosmith band as well. Do you still do that?
Yep.
That's Pandora's Box. Yeah. So Tommy's trying to get back in, but so far he's not connected.
Yeah.
So.
As far as like the label thing, we really don't even have an answer yet. And I think, like I was saying, just a second ago, that, maybe it is good to be able to go back to the old school way of doing things. Like, got to go out and play and get seen by these people and create the buzz, and not just take for granted that, because of history, someone's automatically going to come beat our door down.
Here he's back.
Sorry about that, guys. I went on a little vacation there.
We thought that he compared you to Lynch, and you were angry.
That was it, man. I was out.
Failed.
But yeah, we were talking about a little bit of creating that buzz, and I think it's true because right now I don't think you need people to mold you and give you guys have to make the music, and when the music's done, then you can get somebody who has that business sense to sort of, okay, how do we market this?
Right.
And it will happen. And because you guys are associated with brands, it helps. And so, we've said that a lot, obviously, but it matters,
You know what? The one thing is, man, we believe so much in this music, and sure as fuck, man, we put those videos out, that first song, and then this one, and we have got nothing but overwhelmingly positive feedback. I mean,
except for that one guy.
Maybe one guy.
One dude.
Well, you can never trust the one guy, but you were
guy.
right. I see the positive up. People are looking to bash everything. Now that everyone's an armchair quarterback at home, they are looking to insult things. And so you got to be on your game. And I've seen it.
Feel better about themselves.
But it's wonderful, man. I just feel so blessed and grateful that, what we thought was a real great thing, that people are cluing into that. And it's not like we're that crazy. We're pretty much on it, I think.
Yeah. And I think it's great, hopefully some big things to come. You don't make the music to to be rich rock stars. You make the music because you love it and you believe in it, and you guys are going to prove that.
Dude, all I've been doing is spending money since I met Nate. That's all we've been doing. I'm not making nothing right now, man, but we're trying to get there where we can. At least go, you know, make a decent living, play live. At least I think we can.
We got some merchandise, boys?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All handled.
Gotta
Shirts,
have one.
shirts,
Shirts,
stickers,
buttons,
red hot,
CDs.
popcorn, get your candy. Yeah, we got it all.
We have a CD that we're selling just at the shows, and it's got Myth on it, right? But it's also now Myth. See, Myth. The thing about Myth is radio was calling back in the day when we first got together, and we had a radio friend that wanted a song. We thought, well, we need something to play on there, so we brought Myth, and it was just really sounded good, and everyone seemed to like it. So we ended up making a video out of that. Myth is actually that song, that video. It's a demo. That's the first song we ever demoed, and that's what you hear when you hear that video. So our demo sounded really good, and then this thing sounds great. But wait, I lost my train of thought.
Lemmy and
Oh
Payne.
yeah. So the CD, the two songs that are on the CD with Myth are from those same sessions. One of them is called Ode to Lemmy, which is an ode to Lemmy. It's all about Lemmy, and I'll let him tell you about that. And then there's another one called Pain. It's like a real slow bluesy thing, and it's just wonderful and beautiful. But you can only get those at the show, so that's kind of a fun little thing there as far as merch goes.
And it could be a very cool collectible because
Yeah,
the first thing.
that's it. I mean, you can only get it there. But I'll let Nate tell you about the Lemmy song. Lemmy song's a lot of fun, and we're going to play it live all the time. It's great.
Yeah, tell me about. I was fortunate to know Lemmy and work with him on some stuff, and he's one of the most interesting guys. Was one of the guys.
I have memorable moments with him too.
Yeah, everybody's got a good Lemmy story. You got if you're in this business.
Nate's got a great
I
one.
got a great one. But
Well, let's hear it.
I'll tell you the story. I'll tell you the story when I see you.
Oh,
But here's the
that
deal. When this track presented to me, we were in Kentucky recording, and I'm sitting there listening. I'm like, man, if this doesn't sound like Motorhead, I don't know what does, right? It's got that whole vibe to it. And so I'm sitting outside while they're laying tracks down, and I Googled Motorhead titles, song titles, album titles, and I jotted down like 30 song titles, all the album titles, and I pulled and manipulated words from this song or that song out of these.
He used
titles.
a little bit of his own little story that he has.
Story in there, a real brief of the reality of what happened with me and Lemmy, and
Great.
and all the lyrics to all the songs, and then the pre-chorus and the chorus is I wrote, and it's all Motorhead titles. So when you hear that song, you're gonna hear and go, wait a minute, and you'll put it together. It's just a total tribute to Lemmy.
It's rad, dude. I love it. It's fucking
All the titles,
sounds great.
badass.
and I manipulated them and kind of jingled them in there to make verses and choruses, and it's super cool, man. Pain is another story. Tommy had that riff for a long time, and he couldn't get anybody to bite on it. It's like I couldn't get anybody to write anything to it, and I never, really could get anybody to do anything with it. And he sent it to me, and I instantly heard it. I was like, how did somebody not hear this melody that goes with this song vocally? Like 5 minutes later, I took my son's phone and laid it beside mine. This is how Neanderthal I am. And I pressed play on my phone and sang into my son's phone to record it. And I sent that recording of my phone with the music and me singing in his phone.
That's the best.
Like, I love it. I was like, I don't know how anybody didn't hear that. When you hear it, Jason, you'll be like, it fits like a sock in a shoe. It's like, I don't understand how nobody didn't see that.
It was
Not
meant
that
to be.
I'm a genius.
No, I tried to get that song going in Tesla. I mean, that's how long I've had the song.
Yeah, and I think people are anxious to hear it.
Cool
I'm glad
track.
that we could talk about it.
Really cool track. Yeah, and we've got some other ones that didn't make it to the record either that we are definitely going to do for sure. But yeah, they're cool tracks.
Well, you're doing the first step. First of all, the world's been closed for a year. So
Yeah.
now's your chance. You had a little setback.
The record, if the world wasn't closed for a year, there was a silver lining to our very dark cloud.
Yeah, I don't know how different it would have been if
We'd have
that
never-
if the pandemic didn't happen. I don't know exactly what we would have done and how it would have played out. We would have done something, maybe made the record, but it really forced us to like think, what are we going to do? And, you know, of course, the record is what came out.
We didn't have anything else to do, brother. So it was great. And I can answer the question. No, we would have not made this record if it wasn't for COVID. Not saying thank you for COVID. I'm just saying, no, we'd still be in the studio.
I tell people I kind of going to miss this pandemic because there was all this time to get some work done, you know? I mean,
we wrote a lot of songs, man.
Funny.
We wrote a ton of songs, man.
Funny.
Yeah, well, listen, so you got something good out of a dark time. Now's the chance to get out there. There is such an interest again in rock and roll music, thankfully. And
support so far, dude. We're really, really excited about this.
Okay, so we want to tell people that they can go to Resistant Bite on social media. You guys have a Facebook page. I don't think there's a website yet, but you're going to get that because you got to unload.
He told me the other day, at Resistant Bite Band gets you into any of it. At Resistant Bite Band.
I got to tell you, I hate to ask this is a cliche question, and I hate to ask it, but where does the name Resistant Bite come from?
Well, I'm embarrassed to say where I first heard it. A friend of mine gave me a Sabaton record because he likes Sabaton. And they're all right or whatever. It's not really my thing, but they're all right. Anyway, they had a song called Resistant Bite. And I liked it. Then I looked into what it actually was about, and it's Nate, and he knows more about it than I do. But I just like the way it sounded because I thought it could have a sexual kind of a bondage overtone, or it could mean different things, you know, but it does have a meaning. There was a French resistance in World War II or something like that.
World War II, and they were like, they did guerrilla warfare, man. They were the guys that would roll up in there and blow up bridges. You know, they were the Dirty Dozen. That's what they were. They were a small band of troops that would go around and really throw wrenches and everything the freaking Nazis were doing.
French resistance, you've heard it.
Total, just tear them up. It was like Belgian and French, but Resistant Bite. It's a military.
Very, very cool. So so Resistant Bite Band. You search for it, it comes up. Go to YouTube right now, and you're going to see the brand new video. It just came out a few days ago, and that song is called Fate.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna like that one. So then you're gonna want to go check out The Myth I'm Living, the first single, and get into it. Follow the band online.
After it, I've noticed, like if you play Fate, I think Myth
it
actually
comes right up after it.
Yeah. It auto plays, which is great.
Yeah.
Tommy, can people still get guitar lessons with you?
They can. I put that out there every now and then, and I don't get a lot of calls lately, and I don't know. Yeah, they can. Absolutely. There's a little thing on my Facebook page where you can book a lesson, and I just people haven't been doing it. I think they're broke or whatever, but I have been giving lessons.
I don't think everyone knows either. And so, also there's a TommySkeoch.com that has the PayPal link. It's very affordable. I mean, honestly, what's great, Tommy, is you teach all levels. And
I do.
Yeah, I heard that a kid wants to play, you teach him Rock You Like a Hurricane, in your first lesson, which people want to know. Listen, Tommy, I study.
Yeah, it's exactly what I would, a lot of kids, because that's like an easy song, and you can get kids on that song really easily, man. They clue right into it.
If you're learning music.
My boy Daniel just told me to tell Tommy, he said, I'm going to call him for a lesson to do Love Song.
Nice.
Well, yeah.
I want the intro.
But the great thing about learning that way, Tommy, and as you know, is when you're learning how to play, you want to play music. I started with the Mel Bay book, and it was just so unrewarding.
Awful. Yeah, it's awful.
Y'all is it guitar nerd time? I just need to know.
No, not completely. I'm a punk rock guy.
Stepping into Nerdville, just let me know if you're stepping into Nerdville, man.
Johnny Ramone made me buy a guitar more than any shredding guy.
Nice.
But so I went and I found Nick Bocott in the back of Circus Magazine. I said, I'm going to talk him into being my guitar teacher. And same thing, I'm going to teach you Heaven and Hell right away. And then you feel a little bit more like...
That's right. Got to get them going, because if you just kind of like, here's a C chord, here's a D, it's just like boring as fuck, man.
I knew it. Stepping in.
The C and D chord was too much for you, Nathan. It's too much guitar.
But people do tell me I'm a good teacher. They seem to get a lot out of it, so it's cool. You know, I enjoy it.
Right on.
Well, and listen, while you still have some time, people can go on and book a lesson with you, and it's super easy.
It would be great, but I'm like about to start getting busy, I think. But yeah, I'm out here. You know, here I am.
Yeah, so you go on there, and it's really affordable, and you get to learn from somebody who is a multi-platinum artist, and you know that doesn't happen very often. You know,
bad, man. I never
Say
even
it again, Nathan?
that way, but yeah.
Well, people who take lessons like to brag. That's a big part of it. You know, you want to say, "Hey, my teacher, you know, did this."
It's funny because I'll give a lesson like on Skype or something, and there's some cats that have like a little camera back there, and they're filming the whole thing, or they're taping the whole. You know, it's just like it's a thing. You know, it's like an event.
It's a little bit like a meet and greet in some sense.
Bit. Well, sometimes a little bit.
You know, Tommy, you're a guitar teacher. Did you ever wonder how the hell did Joe Satriani have so many successful students? You know, Steve Vai, Alex Skolnick, and there's a ton more that we don't know of.
Yeah. It's I know, huh?
Something in the water up there.
Well, you know what? That's the thing is I'm not some theory guitar player guy. I'm just a knucklehead kind of gutter player, and I show people that. I show them rock and roll, man. That's what I show them.
I'm in here with my boy Tommy knows him, Daniel Graziani is in here with me, and he's like, I'm like, all right, and he's like, no, wait a minute, I want to hear this. You guys are nerds. People are nerds.
What I find cool, Tommy, if I can say, you know, is that yes, Tesla is this technical band, and even Resistant Bite, you definitely, you know, some shredding, people want that, but you definitely have this sort of punk rock background as well. And I think that, you know, you're not supposed to say that you were the cool one in Tesla. They resent that. But I think a lot of people felt that way.
I think, well, that's, you know, there's even people saying, I mean, the guys in Tesla think I'm out there saying that when I left, that all the band left the Edge. And I'm not saying that, but their fans are saying that, you know? So it's like, whatever. It's an attitude, though, man. That's what I'm talking about. It's an attitude. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think people see that. Nathan's like, oh, man, here comes the Blabbermouth headline. We're screwed.
Oh, hell.
Listen, Nathan, I got to tell you, you want these headlines, no matter what they say. Who cares? You got a record to sell.
But it's true. I'm not trying to say anything bad about anybody. This is things the fans say. I'm just listening to it, man.
Yeah, I said it. I was a kid. I said it. They can blame me.
There you go.
Nathan can't say it, but he probably thought it too, right, Nathan? Don't say it. Don't comment. Listen, Resistant Bite, brand new music. We spent some time talking about it. I want people to listen to it and get the word out. And look, I hope you guys will come back when the record's out, and we'll go through the tracks and we'll sell something, you know?
Dude, let's do it, man.
Let's do it, man.
And hopefully we'll get you out here in Vegas.
That sounds
we'll
awesome.
definitely be out there at some point. We need to. We're going to bust out through this country. Someone will give us.
Hey, is your guys' sound getting weird?
Yeah.
It's a little muffled. I think Tommy's getting ready to disconnect, so he's setting up the old.
Yeah. Nothing.
No, it's like all I can hear is like.
See? I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Resistant Bite. Check it out now.
Thank you very much, man.
Take care.